This week's edition of Sports Illustrated included a lengthy feature on President Donald Trump and his complicated relationship with the game of golf. In that feature included one line that has swept through social media. The president referred to the White House as a dump. Here to talk more about it is Alana Abramson, reporter for Time Magazine and Fortune Magazine. And via Skype, we have the author of the piece, Alan Shipnuck of Sports Illustrated. Alan, I'll start with you. As you were crafting this story, and I know you spent months on this piece, did you ever think, out of everything that you wrote, did you think those would be the words that would stand out to people?
It occurred to me that might gain a little notice, but it's funny because one of my colleagues overseas in England said that should have been the lead to the story. And I said we were going for a little subtlety and nuance of this piece. So it was buried deep in the story. Of course, the media world we live in, that doesn't really matter. The fact that I had President Trump subtweeting me, I guess that's a good thing. Anything that gets people reading and coming to our various platforms is a good thing, but I hope that it doesn't overwhelm the story as a whole. Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to know how many people read the 7 words versus how many read the full 7,000. Alana, why do you think those 7 words, that one line, touch such a nerve with people?
I think it's an example of Trump really being truly unfiltered. A lot of people view him as an unfiltered person, but he really isn't. He knows how to drive the media cycle and he knows how to brand himself. And then, as Alan notes in his article, he's more unguarded with people who pay for proximity to him. So he really said this. We don't really know what he thinks of the presidency. We know what he thinks about certain policies, but we don't know if he likes being president. And I think this was a window into that.
Does this line stick with him for a while, or does the news cycle just speed forward and we've forgotten about this in a week?
I think it's a 50-50 shot. The news cycle moves so quickly with him that it really depends. He could wake up on Twitter one morning and say, I'm still mad about this, and tweet about it. But I don't think the White House will stick with it. I think it's something that Trump himself will stick with if he decides to.
Okay, so for now, Alan, at least you're getting 15 minutes of fame off of this story. Obviously, you've been tweeted indirectly by the president himself. What other tweets or responses have stood out to you over the past couple days? I don't take anything on Twitter too seriously, and those who follow me know I like to talk a lot of smack. It's been kind of edifying to see when you're in the middle of one of these tweet storms, how it takes on a life of its own and the ebb and flow of it all and just the sheer volume. It's also interesting how many point missers are out there who said, well, you didn't hear it, he didn't say it to you, so you can't use it. Well, if that's the standard for how we do investigative journalism, nothing would ever get in the newspaper or in a magazine. Reporters are rarely in the room when things are discussed or big decisions are made, and you have to rely on sources that you find credible. And it's been a little dispiriting to see how many people don't understand how the press works, but I guess we already knew that. It's been an instructive moment for me on any number of levels. Alana, we've seen the president go after the New York Times. We've seen him go after CNN. This is the first time that I'm aware of that he's gone after a lifestyle magazine. Is it fair to say that anybody who covers the president and this administration in any way is opening themselves up for this type of criticism and backlash?
Yeah, I think unless you cover him positively. If you cover the president and say something negative about him or something that goes viral, you can expect a reaction.
What for you is the toughest thing about covering this administration?
I think it's just the number of the news nuggets that come at you. You also have Congress and Trump are inherently intertwined as well, so it's just sifting through everything that comes at you and deciding how you're going to cover it and why you're going to cover it.
Well, these are complicated times for the media and interesting times for the golf media as well. We'll leave it there. For more coverage on the Trump administration and his relationship with golf and more breaking news as it comes, stay tuned to Golf.com.